Did God create woman before creating man? Yes. Was the earth only populated by women before even a thought of a man? Yes. Was man created secondarily to women for a particular purpose? Yes. Is God a maternal spirit? And did God create woman to be the extension of her on earth? Yes. In order to talk about creation, we must talk about God. Now, I can't tell anybody what God is to them. That's a personal, private, and sacred relationship between you and God. You have yours, I have mine. But we all communicate and talk with God. Don't you talk with God? Well, I talk with God, and I talk with God a lot. And God revealed some amazing insights about the creation of woman and the creation of man. And I want to share it with you. Now, I'm just a presenter. I present the concepts that God gave me, the things that God gave me. I'm presenting the concepts and thoughts up here just to see if they resonate with you. And if they do, take it because they're yours too. They're just as much yours as they are mine. Now, I'm going to tell you what God revealed to me in a story. It's a new story of creation. And telling the story, I'm going to have to use words. Now, words, at this point in time, we were just animals, so there were no words. Words would be created for millions of years in the future. But I have to use the words to tell a story. So the story that God revealed to me is called Her Story. Woman came first. Nothing is the creating source of all that was, is, and will ever be. This nothingness energy has always been in existence. There was no beginning and there is no end. This nothingness energy is a spiritual vibration. It's all just a spiritual vibration. And this spiritual vibration is God, the mother of creation. Everything is born and created from her. What God revealed is inside of her nothingness. She has two natures. Her major nature is feminine. It's a feminine energy. It's a feminine vibration of loving, nurturing, caring, giving, and creating. And she has a minor nature too. It's masculine. It's a masculine energy, a masculine vibration of protection, aggression, confrontation, domination, and leading. And God's nothingness energy is only perfection. There's nothing there but God. There are no things. It was before the creation of the universe, before people, before, hey, it's just nothing there. So in this perfection, there are no threats. You don't have to protect yourself. There's no conflicts because everything is perfect. So when God's nothingness energy of perfection, she didn't need her minor masculine nature. So her minor masculine nature of protection, aggression, confrontation was dormant. It was not active. It was still there, but it wasn't doing anything. It was resting. Now it appears that God's two natures, her feminine nature and her masculine nature, are separate. Like they're not together at all. I mean, they're just doing their own thing. But in actuality, they are intertwined. They work together harmoniously as one spirit, as one nature, as one energy, as one vibration. You can't separate the two. So it's very understandable why people say God is the father or God is a he. Or people say God is the mother or God is a she because they both are right. You can't separate the energy, the feelings of this energy. It's a vibration and you just can't separate them. They're just one. God is the father and God is the mother at the same time all the time. I know you probably never heard this before or even thought about it. But through my conversation with God, it was revealed to me, and I'm sharing it with you to see what you think. What do you think? Does it make sense? Being the God, the mother of creation, always existed. The time finally came when she wanted to create and give birth to the physical universe. So she engaged her two natures, her feminine nature and the masculine nature. Oh, they knew it was happening. They knew this was a cosmic rendezvous. And the masculine nature was excited. He really couldn't control himself. But the feminine nature, oh, she was cool because she was in control. So they started a little foreplay. They started a little teasing. So they came in and lightly touched. Woo! Oh, that did it. Oh, they really got excited now. And then they came in again and lightly touched again. Woo, hello. Oh, that did it. Oh, they started getting into it. Oh, they were locked in. Oh, it was so exciting. Oh, they found their stride. They kept going. Hell, they couldn't get enough of each other. There was a lot of friction. There's a lot of heat. There's a lot of sparks. And then they wanted to hold off. They couldn't. It was just getting too good. And they went. It went. Oh, it went. Boom. Oh, the birth of the moon, the stars, the planets, the asteroids, the rocks, the dust, and everything else. Oh, that was the cosmic climax. Oh, you know what happens after you make love? There's an afterglow. So the planets, moons, and stars, they just relaxed. They just settled in their atmospheres, their magnetic fields, their constellations. Oh, this was a success. So now the endless universe is filled with planets, moons, and a gazillion stars shining like diamonds everywhere. Now there was one planet that God chose to be the home for her children, planet Earth. God wanted to create children so that she could experience life through them in physical form. Now planet Earth was just a big ball of dirt. It was colorless, lifeless, vegetationless. It was just there. It was just a big dirty ball. What she did was place dormant cells and seeds upon the earth, then cause it to rain for many, many, many years, filling the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, the streams, and ponds with water. These seeds planted on earth gave birth to all the vegetation. I'm talking about to the trees, to the fruits, to the vegetables, to the herbs, to the nuts, to the seeds, and to a large array of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers. There were flowers everywhere. And in the waters, these once dormant cells sprung to life, giving birth to living organisms. And due to the magnetic pull of the moon, the water's levels, gain levels and loss levels, created waves and tides. And then over time, these living organisms came to land. And over millions and millions of years, these living organisms evolved into all of the animal species that inhabits the earth. I'm talking about reptiles, insects, birds, mammals, and primates. The living organisms that remain in the water evolved into aquatic animals. I'm talking about the fish, the whales, the sharks, all the rest. Now the earth is filled with color, with life, with vegetation. Is this how God created all life on planet Earth? God tells me yes. Yes, 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 yes. The earth was perfect. It was truly a paradise, exactly how God envisioned it to be, to receive her children. So God wrapped herself and within her own pulsating spiritual energy and vibration. She transitioned into physical form, landing softly on the earth. God's first child was a daughter. Yes, a daughter. The first person on earth was a woman, the daughter of God. When God's daughter arrived on earth, she landed in a geographical location that we now call Africa. There were two parts of her. Her minor part was her physical body, which she received in a transition to earth. Her physical body is the holder of her major part, which is God's spirit within, the original maternal spirit. Woman has the exact same two natures as God. She has a major feminine nature of loving, nurturing, caring, giving, and creating, the same as God. And she had a minor masculine nature of protection, aggression, confrontation. Well, this nature was dormant. It wasn't needed because you don't need to protect yourself or be aggressive or confrontational with perfection because everything is perfect. Is it possible that God created woman and actually all of her children to resemble primates and for primates to be her children's first teacher on earth? I mean, the primates, they would have evolved over millions of years, establishing a successful way to live and, how to hunt, how to gather, how to build communities, how to build a family unit, how to shelter, all these things for survival. I mean, could that be God's plan to make us resemble primates and for them to teach us the way of the world? Hey, through my conversation with God, God says, yes, I'm just throwing it up for you to look at to see what you think. What do you think? When God's daughter arrived on earth, she didn't look like she looks today. I mean, do you know how people look today? We evolved to look how we look today. When she arrived on earth, oh, she was little. She was dark skinned. She was hairy. She she okay, she looked like a monkey. She looked like a primate. She fit right in. She did walk upright, and on occasion she walked on all fours. But her main way to transport was to fly. Oh, she used to love to fly. Flying was no big deal because it was a magical time, and she was God on earth. Don't you think God can fly? We're talking about God. Soon as God's daughter arrived on earth, oh, the moment she got there, she was so excited. She wanted to experience everything that she created. So she ran into the field of flowers. Oh, they were towering over her because she was little, and the flowers are every beautiful colors, beautiful everything. And she smelled each and every one of them. And then she went and ate some fruit. She ate as much as she could. She was having the time of her life. And then she went and ate some vegetables. I don't think she liked the vegetables that much, but she ate them anyway. What she really wanted to do was go play with the animals. Now the animals, they received God. Well, God, she was God on earth. They received woman as God because she was God. They felt her vibration. It was loving. It was nurturing. They didn't fear her. They just, they just embraced her. She ran with the lions. Oh, she was running with the lions. Oh, and then she rode elephants. She rode one elephant to the other. She got on one, and then she got off, and then got on another. Then she went into the ocean, and she swam with the fish. She swam with the sharks. She swam with the whales. Oh, they just loved her, and she had so much fun. She came to land, and then all these birds start circling around her head, singing, and they were singing and whistling, and they had so much fun. They were just so it was so much love. It's just everywhere. Then the birds took off. They flew away. God's daughter flew with them. She flew with them. Oh, she was flying like this. Oh, she was flying like this. Oh. She even did the back fly. Oh, oh, she was into it. It was becoming nighttime, so she wanted to get to her family, the primates. When she saw them, she noticed there was a little animal that reminded her of them of her. I mean, they were like the same. They were feminine. They were female, and they could feel it. They really, attached themselves to each other. It was just so beautiful. And then she noticed a bigger animal that looked like her but different. Had bigger muscles, bigger hands, bigger feet, bigger legs, bigger arms, a bigger butt. She was so intrigued by this bigger animal. She didn't know what to do, so she looked him up. She looked him down. She looked him up. And then she got stuck in the middle there. She saw something that she didn't have. She said, "What is that? What?" Oh, she didn't know. She was like, what? And then this bigger part, of the bigger animal, the part she didn't have, started to grow. And she said, oh, she back to the whoa. Ow. Whoa. No, she didn't say that. That's what she felt in energy. I'm using words because I got to use words, but that's what she said. Wow, no. And then he took this part of himself and inserted it into the little animal, feminine, like her. And then he started doing the thing. This male animal was known as King Toddy Ta. Oh, he had a reputation in the jungle. He was the man. He did his thing anywhere and everywhere. He didn't care who was watching. King Toddy Ta peeked over to see if she was looking, and she was. So he really went to town. What is going what? She was so confused. She didn't know what to do. They went on and on and on for such a long time. She eventually she accepted it. So she went, okay, well, go ahead on then. Oh, come on now. What? Hello? Come on now. You doing what? Say what? Come on. What is? Oh, you. Oh. Many days, many weeks, months. This stuff was just happening. King Tata was busy, and she's watching, and no big deal, and it just become normalized. But after several months, the females start having a stuff, they're pregnant, and she was like, she didn't get it, and then they gave birth. Oh, this tripped out. Oh, God's daughter. She went, oh, there's a person coming out of, oh, how did it come out of, did it come out of that, what? What is that? Oh, she loved the babies. She loved the babies. So she helped the little female animal, take care of the babies. There was a lot of them. King Tata was busy. So she was a baby here, baby there, baby, and she would just help all the babies, she just loved it. So this became her normal life, and she actually loved it. She felt like she was a part. But then one day, it hit her. She says, I'm lonely. I'm lonely. I need companionship. There's nobody here like me. I mean, I love it here. I love everyone, and everything is just so beautiful, but the only one here of my kind. I need companionship. Oh, God, I don't know what to do. She really felt that. So what she did was she went, it was nighttime now, so she went up to the mountaintop, and she looked up into the sky and saw all these stars shining like diamonds everywhere. And she appealed to God. She says, Mama, please. I love everything. I want you to know I love, but I am lonely. I need companionship, Mama. There's nobody here like me. There's nobody here. Everybody got somebody. I don't have anybody. Oh, Mama, please, can you make me a family? Can you send some people my way? I mean, I just need someone like me, Mama. Please, Mama, please, Mama. Oh, this hit her hard. She was feeling this thing. But Mama didn't answer her. She didn't answer her. So God's daughter fell asleep right there under the stars in a fetal position. But God did it. The original Maternal Spirit heard her loud and clear. So as her daughter slept, God transitioned many women out of spirit into physical form and landed them all around God's daughter. Now, when they arrived with the same two natures as God and God's daughter. They had a major nature. It was feminine, of loving, nurturing, caring, giving, creating. And they had a uh, minor nature. It was masculine and protection, confrontation, aggression. And this just wasn't needed in perfection. So it was dormant, just like the original maternal spirits and just like her daughter. It was dormant, it was not needed. It's only love. So when God's daughter awoke, she just, she scratched the foot. And she saw all these women. Now these women were her sisters. They were her sisters, and she couldn't believe it. She was so excited. She said, "Oh God, huh? What? Oh, up in the sky. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. Oh, Mama. Oh, thank you. Oh, Mama. Oh, thank you." Now, when these women awoke, her sisters awoke, they circled all around her and gave her love. Oh, she couldn't believe it. They accepted her as the queen because they knew spiritually that she was here to teach them the way of the world, along with the primates. But she was the queen. And so the order was perfect, and they just loved each other. Hey, listen here, God's daughter was thrilled. She couldn't be happier. She couldn't wait to show them the way of the world. So they just took off. She said, "Come on, follow me." And they flew, and they flew over the trees. They looked down at the lush valleys. They saw a group of trees right there. They went through the trees and started flying through the trees. Oh, they flew up over the trees, and they looked down. They saw a watering hole. They shot to the one hole. They were flying, and someone was doing the backfly. Me, two or three of them was doing like that. They were doing like that. I guess that was a thing. So they found the water. They flew into the water. This is the first time they felt water. They felt the water all on their back, and they just felt so good. Their bodies. And then someone put their head in the water and put their head back, and the water went down their spine. When they finished the watering hole, they wanted to go see the animals. Now, the animals received God's daughter's sisters the same as they received her. They felt that they were God as well because God was inside of them. God, the original maternal spirit, was experiencing life, physical life, through them. And the animals felt it. They played with the lions. They played with the hippopotamus. They played with the monkeys. They played with the orangutans. Now it was becoming nighttime, and the queen wanted to take her sisters to see their primate family. So when they got there, her sisters connected right away with the female primates because they knew they were the same. They could just feel it. Oh, they were just enjoying each other, playing back and forth. And then all of a sudden, they saw the males. And when they saw the males, they were in awe. They were talking about, it was mating season. And King Tati-Ta, he was excited. God's daughter knew what was happening, so she was cool. But her sister, seeing it for the first time, I mean, this one over here watching, she's going, and then over here, she goes, oh no, she didn't. Oh, no, no. And this one over here talking about, what's that smell? They knew the primates was there to teach them. And after watching King Tati-Ta do his thing, they decided to mimic him. And they did. And they loved it. They loved the softness of their skin. They loved the closeness that they felt. It was all spiritual. It was a trust factor there that just they didn't expect, but it was there. Oh, it was so incredible for them. Oh, and so they carried on. They was mimicking a lot. A lot. They loved the intimacy, the sexual intimacy. And most of all, they loved the pleasure. Oh, life was incredible for the women of earth. But they were very shocked and amazed when they couldn't give birth. They were waiting for pregnancy. They were waiting. It didn't happen. They couldn't figure it out. They didn't mind. They kept doing what they've been doing. They loved it. Everything was perfect. They were definitely living in paradise. But this idyllic life that they crafted for themselves was about to change dramatically. The women of earth started loving the physical world and everything that's in it more than God. Instead of flying, they didn't have nothing to do with flying. They started walking everywhere. They walked in the jungles. They walked in the fields. They walked on the mountain trails. This way they could be closer to the earth, closer to the flowers that they adored, closer to the trees, closer to the animals. They even ran with the wild dogs when they hunted. They ate meat. They even started becoming jealous, possessive, and competitive amongst themselves. They competed to see which one could pick the most beautiful bouquet of flowers, which one of the baby animals would adore them the most, and which one the queen would pick to sit by her side. Now, this is not how God created them to be. This is not in line with God. They were never supposed to be possessive over things or competing against each other for stuff. Unbeknownst to the women, by them choosing the physical world over God, making the created more important than the creator, the physical more important than the spiritual. They started collecting all this negative energy inside their once pure spiritual body. The spirit inside of them was getting contaminated with negative energy. When they were created through spirit, their spiritual body was pure. When they landed on earth, it was pure as God because it was God. They didn't have a clue that they were bringing in all this negative energy. But the animals did. The animals could feel it. And they definitely felt that something had changed. Now they feel that they can't trust the women. They feel threatened by the women. They don't like them. So the women just did their normal routine, and they had a little monkey friend in the jungle that they visit every day. So they went to see the monkey. So they went to approach the monkey, and the monkey ignored them. They reached for the monkey. The monkey went. This really shocked the women because the monkey has never done that before. So they reached out again, and the monkey went back up. And the women didn't know what to do. They thought the monkey was just having a bad day. Then they went into the jungle, and they had a lot of animal friends in the jungle. As normal, they would just greet them. But every time an animal caught wind or sight of the women, they snarled and growled at them. They backed up. They kind of, they kind of went forward on them and growling and stuff. And they looking at them, pierced with their eyes. And the women didn't know. They had no clue what was going on. So as usual, they went into the lion's den, not thinking anything, and start touching the lions. The lions attacked them ferociously, viciously. Oh, they went at them. They bit them. They scratched them. The women were scared. They ran out, and they wanted to fly. So they looked up and they went. They even did the back fly, but nothing was happening. They couldn't rise from where they stood. So a couple of the women that was attacked was hurt. So they put them on their back, and they ran. They ran, and the lions, they were in pursuit. The lions was not playing. The women got the women on the back, and they jumping in the jungle, and they going bobbing and weaving through the trees, and the lions still coming. Oh, and they didn't know what to do. They bobbing, they weaving, they coming up. And then finally they escape. They get to safety. And then they're so scared. They didn't know. They're so confused. And then one of the women that were attacked fell to the ground, lifeless. She died. Oh, this is the first time they experienced death. They didn't know what it was. And, now that they making the physical more important than the spiritual, the created more important than the creator, now they're mortal. They died. This really enraged the women. They didn't know what was going on. But they start getting this feeling that they had to protect themselves. And so they felt this energy come from below them, moving up in them. And this is the first time that their minor masculine nature was activated. It's never been activated before. But now they had to fight. They had to protect. They had to, so their masculine nature activated. And now all this masculine energy is coming through their bodies. They're getting strong. Oh, they felt powerful. And so they said, we got to go revenge the death of our sister. We're going to go get them. So they felt strong, and they went and got rocks and sticks. They broke branches from a tree and then started heading towards the lions because they was going to go get them. And then as they started moving, the queen jumps and said, hold it, hold, time out, hold, slow your roll. Hey, you can't activate your minor masculine nature. It's in you, yes. But God created us to exist from our major feminine nature. We can't, operate our, you can't go kill. We're not about killing animals. That's not what we are. She said all that, not in words, in energy. They felt it. It's a feeling thing. It had nothing to do with words. I have to use the words to explain what it is. So I'll continue. She says, listen, you know what we need? We really need males, just like the primates. The primates, they got, the females like us, and then they got this bigger partner. It's a male to handle the protection and to lead. And it's such a, we need that. We don't have that. So the queen took them to the mountaintop, and they looked up in the nightly sky, and they saw all these stars shining like diamonds everywhere. And the queen continued. She said, yes, we need males. We need a perfect partner. We need a partner like the primates. We need a counterpart to us. He's got to be bigger than us. He's got to have big muscles, and he has to have broad shoulders so he can intimidate the enemy. And he has to have big feet and strong legs so he can travel long distances. And he must have big hands and strong arms so he can carry heavy loads. And then the sister jumps in. She says, and he's got to have he's got to have that big, that big butt. So he can sit for hours. And then another sister jumps in. She says, and he got to have that dangle, that winkle, that thing, that thing, what that thing is. Got the thing we don't have. I mean, Queen, help me out. You know what I'm saying? He got to have that. Queen says, a penis. He said, yes, got to have that penis. Oh, got to have that penis. Oh boy, got to have that penis, because, the penis. Well, not just for pleasure, but to help us, create life, giving us the seed to help us. That's important. But he must have that what's the name of it again, Queen? Penis. You got to have that penis. You got to have that penis. Queen says, calm down. The most important thing is that he must be a worthy man. He must be good. He must be walking in line with God. We must be able to trust him. Let's be honest, just a good man. But the most important thing is he must appreciate, love, adore, and respect all women, because he knows that without woman, he would never be created in the first place. Oh, the women, they just, oh yeah, you're right. This is what we need. So they looked up in the heavens and they said, Mama, did you hear us? Did you hear us, Mama? This is what we need. Mama didn't answer. God knew it was time to create woman's perfect partner. Man. So God transitioned once again through spirit. Only this time she manifested magical male seeds from the minor part of her, from her minor masculine nature, and implanted this gift of man inside the wombs of the most worthy of the sisters sleeping. And God created man to be woman's perfect partner in every way, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and sexually. Now, sexually, God created man with a special vibration, an energy that women don't have. Because man's purpose for being created is to protect her, is to lead her, to make her feel safe. And plus, man has, the dingle, the penis and balls. Women don't have this. And God created two types of males, alpha majors and alpha minors. The alpha majors, they were the ones they knew spiritually they were going to be the leaders, the boss, the rulers, the kings. There's no way that they couldn't accomplish that in their minds. And then they had an alpha minor, which were the supporters to the alpha majors. They didn't mind being in second position, but they were leaders too. They were, their purpose of being created was the same as all men. It is to protect and provide for women. They did all of that. But they were very comfortable spiritually in being second in charge. It's like if you had a corporation, the CEO would be the alpha major, the boss. And then the COO would be, he's also a boss and also a leader, but he's in second position. he would be leading still hundreds of people. He could, he's still a man. But he's an alpha minor. It's just a mentality. Now, this was brilliant for God to create these two types of males, because if there were only alpha majors, they would kill each other off fighting. It'd only be one man, one male on earth. And then the women, they would have no choice but to go talk to God again. Talk about, Mama, 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 please send us some men. We need more men, Mama. God did something very interesting in fulfilling man's purpose for being created. God flip-flopped woman's two natures. It all comes from woman, and God just flip-flopped them. Woman's major nature is loving, nurturing, caring, giving, and creating. It's feminine. And her minor nature is masculine. It's protection, aggression, confrontation, domination, and leading. God took woman's minor nature of aggression and confrontation for protection and made that man's major nature. This way, the man's first instinct is to protect, is to provide. That's his first thought. It's a feeling, it's a vibration. He gets this feeling that something's happening, and no matter what he's doing, if something happens, because that's his first instinct. His major nature is masculine for the purpose of protection. And God flip-flopped woman's major nature of loving, nurturing, caring, and giving to man's minor nature. So man's minor nature is woman's major nature. This way, if a man isn't being protective, aggressive, confrontational, dominant, he'll automatically rest in his minor feminine nature. This is where he'll be relaxed. He'll be calm. He'll be cool. He'll be at peace. Is this how God created man and woman? Woman came first. God flip-flopped her natures. And now, woman's minor nature of being aggressive and confrontational and protective is man's major nature. And woman's major nature of loving, nurturing, caring is man's minor nature. So if there's no conflict, he's resting. Do you think this is how God created it to be? Is this a perfect system for partnership? Woman is the key. Everything is based on her nature. Created a partner, flip-flopped the natures, so the man could take care of all the heavy work, all the stuff they needed for survival. Women don't have to deal with that. They don't have to deal with the animals. They don't have to deal with any life situation, because man was created by flip-flopping her natures to handle that. Is that what God did? Is that how God created woman and man? I'm just throwing it up there. It's kind of perfect, isn't it? Now let's get back to the creation of man. As the women were sleeping, they had no idea of this great gift that God just gave them. But when they woke up the next morning, well, nothing changed, because they didn't know they were pregnant. It didn't show. It was like normal. So, but 2 to 3 months later, they started showing. Oh, you're talking about being excited. The women is just so happy. They just overjoyed, because they knew they were males, and they knew God had answered their prayers. And 9 months was the crowning moment. They gave birth. This was the birth of man. Once the males were born, the women, they didn't know what to do with themselves. They were so excited. It was a dream come true. They knew why the males were there. They knew that eventually they would grow up to be men and handle everything. They didn't have to deal with any more threats, being chased by the animals, having to tap down their minor masculine nature, feeling all out of sync and stuff. They knew that soon, at some point, they would be able to exist exclusively in their major feminine nature of loving, nurturing, caring, beautifying, enhancing, just enjoying everything that they created. When the male babies turn 3 years old, oh, they're tough, they're rough, they're rambunctious. They fight all the time. They're very confident. They know what they want to do. It's like they run the show. This is exactly how God created them to be at 3 years old. Their mind and masculine nature is starting to get activated. At age 7, they're very self-aware and very smart and very sure. They're still fighting. They're fighting a lot, but they're figuring things out. They're a little more clever. At age 14, these young males, testosterone start kicking in. Oh, they start getting stronger with bigger muscles, and they start getting hair everywhere, on top and below. They still fought a lot, and their fights were getting more serious and serious because they were sharpening their fighting techniques and their leadership skills. At age 18, they were men, and they were ready to handle the business. All these women were so proud, so happy, so thrilled to have seen these young males grow from little boys to men. It was a Motown Philly kind of thing. The animals in the jungle knew about the man. Oh, the word was out. Because the man had his sticks and his stones, and he would pick up anything as a weapon. All the predators. Oh, they knew that man was the king predator in the jungle. He was so bad. I mean, good. I'm from Detroit, so bad, good. He was so incredible that he would even take some of the animals and make them pets. Oh, the men didn't play. Now that the young males became men, the women could finally relax once again. They were so happy. They were at peace. They were content. They didn't have to deal with their minor masculine nature coming up and getting all these negative feelings and wanting to fight and all this stuff. They didn't have to deal with that at all. Their minor masculine nature was dormant, just like it was before. Now they can live exclusively through their feminine major nature of loving, nurturing, and caring. The women were so happy. They were just feeling great because they knew the men that they created, they can handle the business in the jungle. They had no concern whatsoever. Oh, the women, they loved the males. This story of creation lays out very clearly that men were created millions of years after women were already on the earth. And men were created out of necessity to protect the women from all of the attacking animals. This is why men have bigger muscles, more strength and power than women. Men get his muscles, his power, and his strength from women, from women. Everything comes from woman. Inside a woman's minor masculine nature, there's testosterone. Now, it's minor, so it's just a little dose of testosterone. So women, they have muscles, but they're not as pronounced as men. But that's come from the testosterone. And we all see some buff women now. They get strong. They can do it. But basically, the testosterone, it's a lesser dose, so it's not as pronounced. It's not as strong. And then also, we see some women with some stuff happening around here. Some hair popping out there. This comes from the testosterone. It's a minor dose, so it ain't a lot of hair. It ain't a beard, but it's out there. We've seen it. When God flip-flopped woman's minor masculine nature and made it man's major masculine nature, man got more testosterone. This is what allows men to grow bigger muscles and to be stronger and more strength and more stamina and a deeper voice and all this kind of stuff because of the testosterone. And men were able to grow beards and they have back hair, it's all from the testosterone, from the flip-flop. Now, this is all done by design, by God, because woman needed men for protection. And this is the reason that men were created. If you think about it, if a woman was physically stronger than a man, she wouldn't need a man. What would she need a man for? She could protect herself. Definitely don't need a man for sex, because they can handle that on their own. They can handle that. So what do they need a man for? They just, they be running everything. They see a man, they'll be around. They might say, hey, go get that. Go get my shoes, or, hey, hey, you better go to the store. Like I told you, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, go to the store. They, what? They be running the show. They physically stronger than a man. They don't need a man for anything if they're physically stronger than them. Oh, I can hear you now. He said, oh, yes, they do. They need a man to procreate. They can't procreate without a man. They need that thing go a dang oh. They need it. Other than that, to be, no, that'd be the end of the people. And I say, not exactly. Because worldwide, women outlive men by 7 years. So if men decide to protest and abstain, and not have sex, hey, after the last man dies, women will reign on earth for 7 years without a man. It'll just be women, just like it was in the beginning. It was just only women. So the women will have a choice. They can just live it out. That's a choice. Or they can appeal to God once again. They can be talking about, Mama, please, we need some more men down here, Mama. We need more men. Can you bring them? Hopefully they'll get it right this time. But Mama, please bring them. We want them. Gotta mess them a little bit. You know what I mean? So can you bring them, Mama? Can you, Mama, please, Mama? Here's something you may find interesting. As a result of God spiritually transitioning into physical woman was created in the image of God. And as a result of woman being the extension of God on earth, every man is created in the image of her. Every man is created in the image of a woman. What? You don't believe me? That's why men have nipples. I mean, what do men need nipples for? I mean, why are they there? Because man was created in the image of a woman. We know why women have nipples. It's to feed the babies. It's a food source. It's mothering. But why do men? Hey, maybe it'll make more sense this way. If a man grew his hair really long, waist down to his waist, I mean, his beautiful locks, and shaved off his facial hair, he would look just like a woman, a buff woman, from the testosterone, but look like a woman. Now, if this doesn't make the point, let's say that you go to the mall and this same guy with the long flowing hair down to his waist and no facial hair, he goes in the mall topless, nipples are out. You can see the nipples. You would be confused because you'd be like, damn, woman is God's greatest creation. Why is it so hard for us to say woman is God's greatest creation? Well, it's probably hard because we've been conditioned through words and through different texts and different things that man is superior to women and all this other stuff. Well, I don't care how great a man is, how important, how rich, how successful, how popular, how influential a man is. That man came from the body of a woman. She created him. She's the creator of him. Man is created by woman. This is the story of creation God revealed to me. What do you think? Did it resonate with you? Are you saying to yourself, it could be true? Makes a lot of sense. I think I believe. Yeah. Hey, no matter what, it answers the 5 questions that I posed at the beginning of the video. Did God create woman before creating man? Yes. Was the earth only populated by women before even the thought of a man? Yes. Did God create man secondarily to women for a particular purpose? Yes. Is God a maternal spirit? Yes. With 2 natures, a major feminine nature and a minor masculine nature. Did God create woman as the extension of her on earth? Yes. God created the perfect spiritual partnership for her children, the women and men of earth. Woman is the precious jewel of life, and man was created to protect this jewel at all costs. To do this, God created man in perfection, to be woman's perfect partner, not just to protect her, to provide for her, to make her feel safe, but to love her, to respect her, to appreciate her, to adore her, and to lead her. Now, as far as leading goes, man have to make the best thought out decisions because it's his responsibility to take care of her. And he has to do everything in line with God to honor his purpose of creation. And by man living his purpose of creation, women wouldn't have to be concerned and dealing with, being protected or dealing with threats or conflicts in life because the man's going to handle all of that for her, which will allow women to exist exclusively in their feminine major nature of loving, nurturing, caring, giving, and creating the exact same major feminine nature of God. By woman living through her major feminine nature, she would spread love, God's vibrational love, all over the world. And as an extension of God, woman's purpose of creation was to exist exclusively in her major feminine nature, spread love. Woman is the vessel of God on earth. And man's purpose of creation is to protect woman at all costs. I'm just throwing it up there. This is what God told me. What do you think? I'm just throwing it up there for you to look at. This was the perfect spiritual structuring and partnership God gave to all of her children, the women and men of earth. And it was in place for millions of years. Once man created words in society, this perfectly structured relationship between women and men slowly faded away. And as a result of men being physically stronger than women and him having total control over society, he convinced himself that he was the chosen one by God to run everything, that he was the extension of God on earth, not women. Over time, men forgot their purpose for being created. Man made himself the focal point of life. He became the ruler, the boss, the leader of the world. And in the process, he minimized woman's true greatness, her prominence in society. He took away her freedoms, her rights, her voice, saying that man was created first and women were created second. And then God created man as God's extension on earth. And that woman was created to serve and obey man. Well, not all men were this way. There were some men that were worthy, that really followed and honored their purpose of being created. They loved women, adored women, took care of women. I'm not talking about these men. I'm talking about the rulers, the men that were drunk with power. These are the ones that pushed this agenda forward. Being that man had full control over society, man made all the laws, made all the rules. Man was just powerful, and they knew it. They felt it, and they loved it, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to let it go. So they wanted to figure out a way to ensure that they will always have supreme dominance, for generations to come over society, if not forever. So they decided to have a meeting to talk about it. So they got together, and the guy says, "Fellas, oh, isn't this good? Oh, we're doing a thing. I mean, oh, we're so powerful. Hey, whatever we want to do, we can just write it up and pass it. I mean, this is great. We can't let this go." So the guy says, "Well, what we need to do is figure out a way how we can chronicle our greatness so we can just give it to the world. We can tell the world how great men are and that they were here created to run everything. And we just put that in so to go into the school systems and, he said, okay, well, how do we do that?" So one guy says, "Hey, we can come up with man stories. Put them in books. We call it man story books." And the guy says, "Man story. I see where you're going, but it's too obvious. You said man story. I'm saying that this is a man story. Who? I mean, that's not gonna fly. That's man story now. It's not clever enough." Another guy says, "What about my story? My story books. What do you think?" I said, "My story. I like it better than man story." But when you say my story, it could be anybody's story. It could be your story. It could be my story, and it could be women's story. Well, we don't want, we don't want to mess with that. We don't want no women's story. No, forget that. I think I have it. What about his story? His story books. So, I like it. It feels good, but again, it's two words, and it's in his story. You're still saying that it's man's story. So, I don't know. What if we put it together and make it one word? We call it history. History books. Oh, that feels good. What do you think, Dominic? That feels good. Hey, you know what's so clever about it? What's so clever about it is women can use history books They won't even know that they talk about man's story because it's put together. It's a history, and hell, it's woman's history. It's Women's History Month. You know what I mean? Oh, I love it. What they did was they created all these history books and disseminated all over the world, talking about how great men are and how wonderful their accomplishments are to the world, and they're here to rule and conquer and all this other stuff. They put it in the school systems. They put it in the media. They put it in print. And they did it orally. They talk about history. Everything was history. And that was it. His story was everywhere. But what about women? It should be obvious that woman is God's greatest creation. Women not only create women, but they also create men. Every man you know came from the body of a woman. I mean, that's greatness. Hey, women are the creators, and men are the created. And you can never be greater than your creator. However, men are great too, and all of their unbelievable accomplishments, their notable works, and their outstanding contributions to the world should be documented, should be celebrated, should be acknowledged, should be recognized. And so should women's. To tell the true story of God's children, the women and men of earth, you can't just use history because there would be no history without her story. Woman came first. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you.